Just realized I think I asked D twice if he was ready to go. He's probably like, I think I already said so. But anyway, he was very nice enough to say nothing about it. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to hand it off to said D right now, and he's going to do his magical thing. Go for it, D.
What's going on, everybody? This show is for educational and entertainment purposes only. You have to be 21 and over to be here. If not, you have to get out. That means you. Back to you, Fuma.
Perfect timing. As I always say, this is a well-oiled machine, ladies and gentlemen. It's really testimony to the enormous show budget that we have. Hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of thousands of Monopoly dollars are put in the making of this show, and it really it for lack of a better word, it shows, ladies and germs. For example, this is practical effects right now. We're not doing any CGI right now. We're really artists in the craft of YouTubing. We would never dream of CGIing a cat eating a bowl of food. We actually practically affected a cat eating a bowl of food. It was an extensive. I mean, there was an audition process to find the right cat. We had to actually interview cat food manufacturers. There was a whole thing, ladies and gents. We had to cross-check with OSHA. It was a big thing. Anyway, welcome to the folks in the chat. Welcome, Miss Chronic. I think Miss Chronic is first in the chat. Congratulations. I'm not sure, but I think that might be your first thing in the chat.
First.
Uh, first thing, and she says, "Yo." Yo, back to you, Miss Chronic. Crymore Grows in the house. He's saying cheers. Welcome, Crymore Grows. Good to see you. Poor Pizza Dave's in the house. Welcome, Poor Pizza Dave. Good to see you as well. SO Organics. Good to see you as well, buddy.
Freaking Dave.
Couch in the house. He's saying my favorite show. Well, Couch. We blush. We blush. Cheers, Bud Kilowatt. Good to see you. He's once again posting the. I can never quite figure out what that is. Is that the green balloon? Is that a green bubble? Not really sure. Oh, is it just the green? Oh, it's the green light. That's what it is. That's the green light. Why didn't I figure it out until now? Okay, it's the green light. Zestier is giving us a peace sign. Cheers, Zesty. Good to see you, buddy. Operation Annihilation already in the house. Welcome. And folks, don't forget live chat like I did a little bit ago. And then unfortunately I didn't tell you because I guess I was keeping it to myself at the time. But now I'm sharing, ladies and germs, as we all should. Switch to live chat to have a less better chatting experience. Let me post the link here, and while I do that, I guess so we can introduce D. We can say hello to D here and see how he's doing. Go for it, D. What's up, buddy?
Dude, I am so stoked today. So I
How's
get up this morning and I check the postal service, the website, and I have a package in my
nice?
mailbox. Thank you, poor Pizza Dave, very much. Really appreciate it. I just want to show you real quick, Fumi. Let me turn this off. I don't know if you can
What's
read
up?
that.
Look at that.
Dude,
Hands
dude,
Revenge by Morgana.
it,
Nice.
it,
Excellent.
it's awesome. Do
Right
more of
on.
that.
Right on.
Dude, that's
I
fire. And
used to have a really nice Queen Anne's Revenge, and I ended up letting it go really foolishly. I wish I still had it, honestly. That would have been a really nice cross with Morgana. They had similar structure, even honestly, a similar high. The Queen Anne's Revenge had that blood wreck high. It was awesome. Oh, that's lovely. Well done,
flower
Queen.
rosin, Queen Anne's Revenge, Temple Ball,
Nice.
with Morgana. And I don't know, what's OHQ? Is that you?
No, I don't think so.
Okay, well I don't know what OHQ is, but that looks pretty cool too. It's more Temple Ball.
Nice.
Cool. Yeah,
What is
so
it,
thank you,
what is it,
Pizza
Dave?
Dave, because that's so dope. And the one hitter quitter is fire. And so well everything is fire. And that Queen Anne's Revenge and Morgana is friggin' fire for me.
Sweet.
Holy shit, buddy.
I'm digging it.
Love it.
So presumably that was the Morgana male. What did you like about that male, Dave? What did you pick? How did you pick it? Tell us whatever you'd like. It's very disorganized today. Anyway, ladies and germs, do hop on, join us. Welcome to the show. Dave, you're welcome to join us too, of course. Folks, you're welcome to join us. Hit the link, and the password should be in the link right there. So folks, join us. Just hop on. It's a pretty easy deal, honestly. Just don't be a dick. Don't show your dick. Don't bullshit. That's about it. If you caught a 10-inch fish, just tell us about the story of the 10-inch fish. There's no reason to embellish. That's basically the don't bullshit rule. And then don't be a dick, don't show your dick. I think that's self-explanatory, folks. I think that's about as simple of a rule as you can possibly get. Don't come on here to start a fight. Don't come on here to just to be a prick, pretty much. And of course, don't show your wiener. You can't have that. Honestly, it's not a family show, but it's not a XXX show or something, right? It's not an OnlyFans show. Let's put it that way. In the meantime, though, folks, do hop on, join us. One Hitter Quitter. Never tried it, honestly, from Mr. Toad. I've tried a couple things of his. I've tried. I wish I could remember the names right now.
I'm definitely couch lock.
Pardon?
One Hitter Quitter is definitely a couch lock.
I've heard that. Yeah, I've heard that.
It's wow.
Oh, absolutely.
I'm rolling up.
Thinking on what I smoked of his.
But right now, I'm
from Mr. Scotto. Go ahead. Go ahead.
Oh, I was just gonna say I'm rolling up some Queen Anne's Revenge crossing Morgana now.
Sweet. What do you like, by the way, D?
The taste, the smell, it's like kind of fruity. I'm gonna try it again.
What's my kilowatt? What was I going to say? My Queen Anne's. I had two Queen Anne's Revenges. I don't know if my internet froze or D's, so I'm just going to keep talking. Cheers, Bud Kilowatt. Good to see you.
Good morning.
I had two keepers. Sub sent me Queen Anne's Revenge as testers. I guess it was a new breeding. I don't know. It was pretty controversial because apparently when I grew it, I stepped into the freaking minefield because I kept getting the hate mail every time I would post pictures of it. But anyway, Sub sent me them as testers. I didn't know the freaking backstory. I had a very piney phenotype that I actually sent out as seeds. I still have some seeds of it, honestly. I sent it out as we lost D. I sent it out as question mark, basically. Ironically, it was one of the best tested strains. I kept sending it out as kind of gifts and stuff, and people actually kept growing it because they were like, "What's this?" It was just like Q. Honestly, a lot of times I would send it out. And so, for example, if you have a free pack of Q, basically that was question mark, and that was Queen Anne's Revenge. I think at the time to a Ruby Jack F2. Male. I could be mistaken, but anyway, regardless, it was one of those generations. It ended up being really nice. Honestly, people really quite liked it. Honestly, on the down low, basically. What was I trying to say? The other one that I really liked was powdered chocolate. Shit on a brick. How did it taste now? Powdered chocolate and rum, maybe. It's been a while. Anyway, it was one of the most beautiful plants I've ever grown in my life. Absolutely fucking stunning. Every time I would open the tent, it was just like, oh. Anyway, what's going on, bud? Welcome.
Just keeping an eye on the semifinals of chess. Magnus is playing Fabi right now. The 1 and 2.
It amuses me all the
players.
stuff that you watch. You watch Formula One, you watch chess, you watch surfing.
It's weird. Even in my things that I like over the last year, chess has become like once you get to a certain point that can follow it and understand it, it's exciting. It's good.
Do you enjoy playing chess or do you just like to watch it?
Yeah, but I'm not like I'm too much of a stoner to be able to like have I can't memorize openings, and even when I'm in a game, I can't think like that many moves. Like, yeah, it takes deep thought, and when I'm too stoned to like wrap my head around some of that shit.
Oh, wouldn't that be fun to see Magnus Carlsen or somebody get stoned and try to play chess? I wonder if he'll
Yeah, well, like Magnus drinks like that, like not necessarily when he's supposedly playing, but like
well, I've
his
heard that he gets on
Instagram,
Twitch or whatever, and I can't remember what he
sometimes
calls
he's
himself, doctor
buzzed
or
and
something or other, and he gets drunk and basically plays chess on Twitch or whatever.
Yeah, and even the chat, people seem to be able to tell when he's a little hungover, and he's so good that like he does crazy shit like sacrifices. Like looks like, oh well, fuck, he's just giving this game away, and then all of a sudden, like, bam, he's gnarly to watch. Like, but he gets beat.
Welcome back.
He's down right now. Like, Bobby got him, and it's 1-2 games. So if Magnus doesn't win this game, if they draw, Bobby moves on, and Magnus is out.
Where do you watch it? I don't really have a TV.
Oh
I don't
man,
really watch TV anymore.
it's like each of some of the players, I guess, simulcast, but there's a thing called chess.com.
Oh, okay.
And like, I think there's like, who's
Just lost yourself. Damn.
Well, I'm back.
Welcome back, D.
Yeah.
With
Oh, yeah.
With the safety meeting kitty.
I forget who said that to me. It was awesome.
That is great. I wish it was a sideways picture, but what can you do?
Yeah. All right. Back to rolling up this Morgana Queen's Revenge.
I hope it is a fulfilling dream. Cheers, Benny Ben. Good to see you, buddy. Cheers, Operation Annihilation. Who else in the chat here? Small Tubes is hanging. Welcome, Small Tubes. Garden Grows in the house. Welcome, Garden Grows. Of course, Christoph. Welcome, Christoph. Cheers, buddy.
Big force.
Who else am I missing? Somebody calling me. I keep getting scam calls. Yeah, I keep getting scam calls today. Absolute shit. Anyway.
Well, sorry about that.
Oh, dang it. We lost Bud now. Dang it. The fucking vibrator phone. Like a duck with a truck. Hop on, folks. Come join us. Come join the conversation. This is a long freaking call. Why won't it go away? Hop on, folks. Join us. Tell us about your tell us what these crosses. It's fun to hear about that kind of stuff. Shit, first time I heard about it. I think I've heard, Port Pizza Davis told us about a few crosses in the past that he's done, but that's, I think, the first time I've heard about that Morgana cross. It'd be lovely to hear about what you liked about it. Like I said, what your selection process was. That'd be super fun to hear. Whatever. Any of you guys that work on that kind of stuff, come on in. Super fun to hear about it. Super fun to hear your experiences with genetics. Honestly, super fun to hear how you guys have enjoyed different breeders, whatever. I try to avoid basically starting shit, so definitely don't come on here if you're going to just come on here and, I don't know, mindlessly bitch about somebody. But if you had a negative experience with somebody, if you can dispassionately basically just say, like, okay, this was my experience of the plants, these were my conditions, that's useful information. So that's not inflammatory. Just don't come on here and say, like, well, such and such breeder, he fucking blows cocks because da 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 da. Just come on and tell us, hey, I had a problem with sunrise moonquake, whatever the shit. It didn't germ. There was 50% germ on it, and of the 50% germ, 3 of them hermed right out of the freaking box as little vegetative plants. The 2 that remained, those basically grew in completely disproportionate sizes. That's useful information. That's not talking shit. Come, tell us about it. It'd be fun to hear about that kind of stuff. Frequently we don't really hear about. I don't think there's a lot of, at least I don't know about a lot of
out there
anymore these days. Mostly the scuttlebutt is on Discord and stuff, and you kind of have to be on breeders' Discords, and then who's going to talk shit about the breeder on their Discord? So I think a lot of fair commentary gets lost in the sauce, basically. Anyway, it's not clear. Hop on, folks. Join us. Welcome back, Bud. Welcome back, Bud.
Yeah, I had a phone call that disconnected, but I'm back. Yeah, I'm amazed as I watch chess content, like how popular, like how many views, it's worldwide, and a lot of it comes from, chess is huge in India and Ukraine and a lot of countries that it's like a way out, like where, that's like a sport or like a way to make money. Like a lot right now, the the Prodigies are like 17 to 20 years old out of India. And yeah, they're well, even in this champions, this is the big final champions tour. There's I can't pronounce his name. I think he's Ukrainian. He's only 19. He beat Yukaro yesterday in Armageddon and playing beyond his, yeah, he's up there playing the big masters and he's only 19 years old.
What makes them so good? Are they brazen? Are they just foolhardy? What do they do?
Well, I mean, just like all sports, like you would think, like chess would be, well, the older and the more experience you get, you just get better, right? It's not a physical thing, except that your brain is like a physical thing. And so like even they're saying Magnus is like at that age, and even Hakuro, yeah, once you're like 30, 35, and that's why like some of the older masters retire, and like, yeah, once you get older, your brain doesn't, the level of brain power these guys are using at that level of chess is pretty incredible. And as you get older, you just don't have like it. Your brain is like a physical thing. It's you would think, well, wait, it's just your brain. You would just get smarter and more experience. And no, there's like a peak, and the peak is really like in your teens into your early 20s when you're have it like
Really
that.
do know everything when you're like 19. How funny.
Yeah. And oh yeah, there's a lot to it, strategies and the ratings. And this year we've had a lot of drama. I mean, even the last month, this other older grandmaster accused Akaro of cheating, and created a whole thing. And then he backed it up and said, well, he's just farming, which is because his rating is so high, and it's just stats are like, yeah, he had a 56 game winning streak. But then when the statisticians really analyzed it, it's like, yeah, well, he plays online. He plays like 5 times as many games as the other pros or the other GMs. And so statistically, he could have these runs of 56-0. And farming would mean, he picks players with lesser ratings so he can build up his rating. And last year we had the thing where the guy was wearing the anal beads, and so like cheating is a whole thing. And because there's a lot of money. The tournament they're playing in right now is $500,000 for the winner. So yeah.
Where do they sponsor? Where does the money come from? Is it from sponsorships or what?
Yeah, chess is big. It's like I say, it's, unless you're really in it, you don't realize it. But there's chess clubs, and there's and a lot of this of course now they banned mechanical watches. So a lot of the chess players had sponsors by a watch company. Now digital watches were always banned, right? Like, of course, they're worried of cheating. But mechanical watches were okay until all this cheating stuff. Now they're not allowed to wear any watches, anything. Even when you play online, for your rating to count, you have to have 2 cameras, meaning you have to, like, while you're playing, a camera from behind you to show your desktop and all that, and a camera facing you, because there's a lot of this is AI engines, we call it,
because the AI engines are better than any human player now, right? That's the idea,
right? But even these top guys like Magnus
win.
makes moves that the engine goes and puts double question mark. That means it's like a bad move. Like Magnus is actually tactically more advanced than what AI at times, but because AI every chess game is being documented, all the moves, everything on chess.com and other sites. Yeah, AI learns just as fast. So like sometimes there's variations that people make that the AI isn't quite hip with, that ends up being a good move. But yeah, because when you watch now, the players don't get to see this, but there's an evaluation bar. So like white, black, and it moves like whoever has the advantage. Like even tactically, a lot of times it's 50-50 or it's 48-52, or one move it could swing the bar, the next move it could swing it the other way. And while they're commentating, the commentators have access to the engines and then like can show you, well, wait, if he would have done this, it would have been check move in 3 moves. Oh, he missed that move because, oh, this is speed chess. So it's all about time. And when you get short, like, oh, you're down to like less than a minute, you got to make moves in like seconds. That's where you make blunders. Yeah. And that's all part of it too, putting pressure on the time, because sometimes people lose because they ran out of time. Where like Magnus, oh, he's like, he can play with 6 seconds left, and then if you make it to 60 moves, you get more time. There's all these, they've developed it, like, and okay, the chess boom, and I'm part of, like, I followed chess since I was a kid, little, but COVID was this giant boom to chess, which made sense, right? Like online chess, the whole chess community, the prize money, the popularity, the content creators. Yeah, COVID like was a shot in the arm to the chess world. And even though they call it in-person playing, there's less of that and more online. Like there's a thing on Tuesday that it's for prize money. It's called Tilted Tuesday. Yeah, it's yeah, you can sign up and have an account on chess.com, and if your draw happens, next thing you know, Magnus whipped your ass. You know what I mean? Or girl, like they're like, it's open. You know, you gotta get at least like 1,000-point rating. They have, like, Magnus is like a 2850 right now, the highest in the world. Like, yeah, and that's all very complicated, and yeah. But like I say, when the real good players are getting down, oh, it's exciting. I've been up since 9. I got up early to make sure I watched the whole thing.
By the way, we're watching a Magnus Carlsen versus Sambel Tersahakyan game from January.
Yeah, I just remember, like, Lex Friedman is also into chess, so he's interviewed a bunch of these top guys, and Magnus was interviewed. He's really like a trippy guy. You kind of got to at first he comes off as kind of arrogant and whatever. He's a chess nerd, but I can remember this one part where he was basically explaining that because he's a grandmaster and whatever, and that in life, people, friends, family, people he comes to think that he's like a genius about everything. Okay. And he pointed out, like, since he was 6 years old, all he does is play chess. He doesn't know anything about anything else. But because he's such like, yeah, we assume chess players are like these genius people. Well, they are in chess. But to become that, you basically spend a life where then you don't know much about anything else, even though you assume they're super intelligent people to even, get that good at chess. But that doesn't mean they know anything about anything else. And that people, like, the way he explained it is like, people just assume I know everything. where I know less than most people, except when it comes to chess.
Hey, baby, nice chest. Oh.
Yeah, D.
I
Like
had
even
nothing.
this thing they have puzzles is a thing that online creates, and they recreated this one live in the studio with Magnus where it wasn't the pieces, it was just checkers basically, round dish, black and white, and it was a life-size board, and it would show a position from some game in the history of chess. I mean, from Bobby Fischer to all the way back, even modern ones. And Magnus could look at it within seconds, go, oh, that's Bobby Fischer versus whatever from 19 whatever. The next move is this, and be able to tell you what those pieces actually were. Even though, yeah, like he has every, that's the other thing. They memorize every historic game from the beginning of time. Like that's all part of like being that good. You got to know all the previous uh, moves and the Sicilian and the gambits and there's all these. Every country has like different style of openings and stuff.
Never trust a Sicilian when death is on the line.
Yeah. So Magnus won and tied it up 2-2. So then when it's tied 2-2, there's a thing called Armageddon, right? And then that is where to decide what pieces you're playing, because it's whites kind of has an advantage, right? You 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 write down on a piece of paper your bid time of how much time on the clock they're going to put, and whoever has the lowest time gets to pick the pieces. And so, like normally, the game would be Armageddon 15 minutes on the clock. Well, then like Magnus, if he wants to be black or white, will like bid 850. So then the other guy gets 15 minutes, but you only get 850. And yeah, Armageddon's like the tiebreaker. Like that's where, yeah. And if you, a white's favored, but if you choose black, if you get a draw, it's equivalent to a win. White has to win because a lot of times these games are, no matter what anyone does, it's a draw. Like they're so good that if they want to play to a draw, they play to a draw. If you want to try to win, oh, then you have to like sacrifice or create a situation that's a that could backfire on you, but then you could win. Yeah, it's fun. I don't know how I got so into it, but I'm into it. I'm so into it that I don't even have to watch because the commentator's like, oh, F5, D3, oh, the rook did this. I can visualize the board. So like when they're commentating, I can follow a game without seeing it. And that's like to actually be any good at chess, that's kind of how you have to be. You don't need to see the board. You know the board. They all, every piece, every square has a letter and a number associated with it. And there's a bunch of hot chicks that are top chess players. That's where a lot of the content comes from. These like hot chicks that are also like big in chess.
Big fourth, Christoph. One on me.
Christoph, do you play Schach? Those places.
Cool.
Wow, that's weird. I didn't even know the bid, and they just showed. So Magnus bid 8 minutes and 56 seconds, and Fabiano bid 10 minutes and 1 second. So Magnus won, but didn't I say 8 minutes and 50 seconds when I was just making up a number? That's short. Like anything under 10 minutes, you're really putting yourself in a position. Like if the other guy has twice as much time, well, that's hard to beat.
Wow. I put 20.
And the chat's going crazy saying, "Oh, 8 minutes is crazy. That's too low." Only Magnus could like bid that low.
Well, shit on a break, folks. Hop on. We don't have all that longer. Hop on and join us. Come chat about whatever the balls.
Come chat with us, Danny. Come chat with us.
Yeah, where's J5? Is he in the chat today?
Yeah.
He's hanging. Come join us.
Christoph, J5. I saw green fingers earlier. I'm not sure though.
Well, I had on the Guerrero show earlier. Green Fingers was on there.
Not in here. Can't read that. I don't know. Old G5. Old 25.
G5 said, hot women playing chess.
Yeah, that's pretty funny.
Wasn't
Do
there
they
a
dress hot?
girl just a few years ago, or maybe still now, that basically defected from Iran because they wanted to make her wear a head covering, and she was like, "Fuck this shit," and she started going for the U.S. You know what I'm talking about?
I think I remember something like that.
So I can chess. I don't know.
But like I've always thought about that head covering thing. I get the being forced to have to wear anything. Okay, that's something wrong there. But in that region and in that, like a lot of that is to protect people's skin from sand, sun, and the weather of the region. Like my girlfriend works in Abu Dhabi. She's Filipina, Catholic. She's not, but sometimes when I see her with outside, she wears some of the stuff, sort of, not like the full face covering, but similar stuff. Because yeah, if you're gonna go out in a 128-degree fucking sandstorm type of conditions, well, you're gonna wear something like that over your face. Like I think that garb was created by the thousands of years of living in an area like that. Now, forcing people to have to wear it because of religion, well, that's too much. But I've always thought that the origins of that came out of like, trying to protect your skin from the weather.
Now, people read too much into those kinds of things. People are always saying that the kashrut laws and so on, the I don't know, how do you basically say this? The Jewish laws about food basically had something to do with food safety. They're like, oh, they protect you from trichinosis because of the prohibitions on pork. No, realistically, every time you have those kinds of religious rules, it's to demarcate yourselves and others. Basically, you set yourselves apart to each other. Basically, it's like wearing a uniform, but on your plate, and it also separates you from outsiders. So the outsiders can recognize you, and you can recognize outsiders. Because, well, shit, someone's eating pork. Obviously, they're not one of us, and vice versa. So basically, it's just one of those kinds of things where you separate yourself from someone else. The Muslims basically did the same thing.
Yep.
I guess the Christians honestly didn't do as much. They don't really have as many prohibitions on food, but anyway, many cultures do.
But they have things
It's
that
hard.
separate them, that differentiate them from other people, right?
Sure.
Let me ask you something, Fumi.
Hmm.
What was I gonna say? Shit. So I'm following along with some of the Hanukkah stuff going on right now, since it is Hanukkah, and I can't believe that you can't have certain things with certain things together, like beef and dairy or whatever. That's crazy. So if you have
Yeah, you're not
like
supposed
steak,
to eat the meat of the how do I what's the fucking phrase of it? Uh Obviously I'm not super religious, but basically you're not supposed to eat the milk the meat with the milk of its mother, basically. So you're not allowed to
that's
eat cheese with meat. So cheeseburger or like a bacon cheeseburger, that's basically the most forbidden thing you can have for Jews. Has pork and it also has meat and dairy at the same time. Chicken technically was for a long time basically in the middle, basically, but people decided that it was confusing and it would be confusing to outsiders. That was the thing. It was going to be confusing to outsiders if they saw Jews eating pork. So a long time ago, rabbis decided that chicken counted as meat, even though chicken rather, obviously doesn't make milk. So you cannot possibly cook a chicken in the milk of its mother because a chicken doesn't have milk, right? That's basically the whole idea. But they realized that it would be confusing, so they counted chicken along with it. So you can't have a chicken cheese sandwich either. So I guess a chicken bacon sandwich with cheese would be super forbidden too. Same
so
with shellfish and stuff. There's all kinds of different rules. It's really just basically to set themselves apart. And those rules actually came from their exile, the exile actually of the noble classes in Babylon. It was a weird story. But anyway, go ahead.
oh no, I was just gonna say 'cause it's weird how now you can't have like say a piece of chicken for dinner with mashed potatoes. Oh no, you can't put butter on it. Like what the hell? Yeah, that's crazy. I couldn't do that.
Oh, it's weird. No, it gets
Anyway,
weird. That I was staying with my relatives. I didn't even know I had these relatives, and I met them on a very, very, very tough day, honestly. But anyway, they were nice people, and they were observant Jews, older people, and they were observant Jews. And thankfully, they didn't shove it down my throat. But I mean, like they do have a system basically. And as you guys can see, I drink a lot of water. I always here in the States, I always have my freaking Yeti with ice cold water. But over in Israel, it was a lot more challenging. They don't really, I didn't bring my Yeti. I probably should have, honestly, but it's difficult to find ice cold water fountains or anything like that. They don't have, you have to kind of make your water. You have to put a water bottle in the fridge, basically. Most people don't really have it coming out of their fridge. Kind of funny the differences that countries have. A lot of people don't have that much ice. So to find like an ice maker, it's like, holy shit, what the fuck? It's Shangri-La. But anyway, what was I trying to say? I would basically put bottles of water. You could buy bottles of water, or the tap water was pretty clean, so you could refill it, just a regular bottle, and then put it back in the fridge and get it cold. But then basically I'd have to drink it somehow, like not a barbarian. And there's other people in the house, so I can't just drink it straight from the bottle. So I would go and get a mug from the freaking kitchen. And I don't know how many times, probably 3 or 4 times, I grabbed the wrong mug. I grabbed either the beef mug or the freaking milk mug. And I'm like, the fuck, it's water. Who cares? I got really frustrated one time. I was like, it's fucking water. It's the middle of the day. Who gives a shit? But no, apparently we were still in the meat time or something. We had meat for lunch, I guess.
No,
So we had to
I'm
wait
always
until it was
curious.
hours past.
Like
Go ahead.
in the United States, we pretty much don't drink tap water. I mean, most
Oh no,
people
that's not
buy,
true. A lot of people do.
some people do, but a lot of
Limited
people don't, right?
Washington.
But in other
depends on your
countries,
region.
I assume people aren't like there's more tap water drinking than bottled water, right? Like here, there's so much people. Most tap water is perfectly fine. But like somehow the bottled water industry has a lot of people propaganda making it that their water's like so much better than tap water, which some of it is, but some of it's not much better, right?
You say that the only bottled water that's better than tap water is basically when you live in fucking Detroit, basically, or what is it, Flint or whatever. No, literally, most of the time, bottled water has microplastics and all kinds of other contaminants that tap water, ironically, is regulated out of having. Because tap water, the municipal water is regulated federally, I think, so they have to follow pretty strict guidelines, whereas bottled water apparently has much, much laxer guidelines. So these companies like Nestle and so on get away with fucking murder with quality water.
Well,
It's
and
really quite sad, actually.
water's
You're
like
wrong, though.
a scam. I
Unfortunately, most
buy.
countries, let me finish the thought, though. Most countries around the world, everywhere that I've seen, people drink bottled water. Consequently, most people don't really drink that much water. It's always surprising to me when you come from the US, everyone's always like, oh, drink water for health. And there's all these people that drink like 2, 3 fucking liters of water, sometimes a gallon, 2 gallons of water. You hear all kinds of crazy amounts of water people drink in the US, which is easy to do because we're kind of set up to do it. But over in like France and Germany and freaking Israel and wherever else, holy shit, no, people don't do that. That's so weird. Like people look at you funny when you drink that much goddamn water. And you're an odd tourist when you carry like a big bottle of water. It's kind of funny.
Yeah.
But yeah, whatever. It is
Well,
what it is.
even like I don't even know how it comes out this way, tax wise. But say a case of bottled water is $3.99 in California, at least. I think it comes out to like five something because there's this whatever charges they add to it. I think it's the bottles or the some charge for the plastic or whatever. I don't like, but yeah, it's not the normal tax. It's not the normal 10% tax when you buy stuff. Oh, it's like a couple dollars more, like because you're buying water. Like they tax the shit out of water. It's not on the price that they put. But if you look at your receipt, you'll be like, oh fuck, that water actually costs this much.
And a lot of places in the country actually have perfectly clean water. New York, ironically, people would assume probably like a huge New York has shitty water, but actually they have really, really clean water from the Catskill Mountains. Some of the cleanest in the world. In Portland, actually, believe it or not, we have 0 ppm water. I'm always surprised whenever I do a ppm test. I'm like, wait, what? 0? Like it's literally 0? Yeah, 0 fucking ppm. Sometimes it'll come out like 1 or 10 or something, but most of the time it's fucking 0. Seriously, it's crazy.
Yeah, like my water around here is pretty good. I thought I was, but it has like almost 100 ppm. Like, yeah, when I would test my water with a EC meter and all that, it would be like around 100 starting point. Sometimes even a little higher. So, yeah.
You think some of the best water though does come from the Appalachian Mountains for you guys. Tennessee, Carolina, because Tennessee has the limestone water. Comes right out of the rock.
Those are some of the oldest mountains on Earth, the Appalachians. They used to be higher than the Himalayas. Yeah.
A lot of good
River
Mountain
too.
Dew came out of there.
What's that, D?
A lot of good old Mountain Dew came out of there. White Lightning.
Now I'm forgetting which river it is. I'm gonna have to look it up. The Virginia River or something. One of the oldest rivers in the world actually cuts through the Appalachians, and it's older than the Appalachian Mountains. Let me look it up. Dr. DGC Jeff is joining us.
Hey, Fumi. Hey, Bud, everybody. I just got back, so yeah, I wanted to hop right on. Yeah, I missed a little bit, but I heard some of the chess discussion. And yeah, thanks for last night. It was a good show. Enjoyed that.
What's that?
Well,
midway though.
I looked it up before I misspoke, but over here in the coast in Carlsbad, it's a weird spring. It's been there for a long time. It used to be that the company had this spigot and people could just go and fill the water there. But now that it became so popular, and that they have a brand and it's expensive, you can't get it for free. If you go down there, that you can buy it cheaper. But it's this alkali water that comes from this weird spring in Carlsbad that yeah, some people drink water that's like 9.8, 5 and up pH, like high alcohol, or and think that it's healthy or better. And where like a gallon of water is like $1, if you buy alkaline water, it's like $4 or $5.
Like a natural antacid in there.
Yeah, there's some, I don't know. I don't know the whole story, but some people think it's a health thing.
Yeah.
So the
Maybe
French
just another
Broad River,
craze.
here's what I'm trying to say, by the way. I'm just showing everybody this river predated the forming of the Appalachian Mountains, and the Appalachian Mountains are one of the oldest mountain ranges in the fucking earth. Anyway, it's just stunning that you can find shit like this. Sorry, back to you. By the way, we actually have
Well,
several of the oldest rivers. I guess I'm lying in here. I'm still talking. The Fink River or Finky, I don't know how it is up in Canada, I guess, predates the Alice Springs orogeny from 400 to 350 million years ago. The New River, that's kind of ironic. They call it the New River. It's certainly fucking not new because it's at least 325 or 260 to 325 million years old. God damn. Almost as old as your mama.
well, I pulled up their website, and then somehow there's a section on their homepage because they sell an electronic pH meter, and then it explains that you're supposed to test when you drink this water and to know your health. It's telling you that use the pH meter they sell to test your piss, and that your piss should be like whatever ppm and or pH. I'm like, yeah, no, I'm not. I'm not getting that
Why are
into
you
it.
supposed to pH test
Like, check the runoff.
Well, because if you're drinking this like, okay, your
Check
piss
pH
is one pH, but if you start drinking alkaline water, then your piss will be a lower or a different pH, and that's some of the health thing that your pee should be at a higher. Yeah, some of it's snake oil stuff. Like it isn't
I'd say a
really
lot
like
of that sounds
medical
like snake oil,
science,
to be perfectly honest. Yeah.
right? But yeah, the
Don't be
alkaline
worried about
water thing
forming
has been
kidney stones,
around
like
for
fucking
a
around with your
long time.
pH.
But I've noticed in a couple, maybe just because two different independent friends of mine only drink alkali water. They believe all this stuff, like, which are right.
I've met
I
people who
never
drink
knock people, like,
charcoal
because
tea. That's
sometimes
dumb too.
I believe in, if you believe, that's like a lot right there. Like, so if you believe something, you drinking something, you think it's making you healthier, just that thought probably makes you healthier. Like the health is like a power mind. Like I have other friends that are like, yeah, I mean, what do you call it? Hypochondriac, or yeah, is that it? Where like they're always think they're sick,
Mm.
or perceive, like it's a way of thinking. And then those people are the ones that are always got health problems. And then other, like myself, I, until I had this hernia, I'd gone like 30 years. I never got, and I'm not healthy at all, but I think I'm healthy. Like, you know what I mean? Like, yeah, the power of mind is a lot, I think, in health. Like, you know, I think if you think you're sick, or you're always thinking you're sick, most likely you're going to get sick a lot.
Oh,
Now that's crazy talk, but that's how I somehow think how I pretty much don't get sick, don't have any ailments like that, because I power positive thinking. There's something to the power of positive thinking, and you can apply it to almost anything. Like negative brings on more negative energy, thoughts, all of it.
I can't think of the expression right now, but a friend of mine is a doctor and was telling me about this expression. We get together every once in a while and have cake and stuff. And so we're just kind of discussing this interesting concept. Anyway, I can't remember the concept, but the theory, the theme of it basically is this, that there are these two basic forms of patient in this respect. I wish I could remember this fucking expression. It'd be easier to say this. But anyway, the two forms of patient basically are groups. And by the way, they are broadly culturally representative. So one group basically is oftentimes represented by Latin American families, Asians, a bunch of kind of, Southern hemispheric people, basically, whereby their whole family comes and visits them in the hospital when they get ill. I should have mentioned that it's basically to a sick patient. Maybe that was clear from talking to a doctor, but they're talking about sick patients, basically. And so the sick patient gets, flops down on a hospital bed. Let's just say, hypothetically, that two sick patients flop down on hospital beds, basically right next to each other. And the one sick patient basically has a Mexican family. Let's say, for example, they're Mexican, they have a Mexican family, and their whole fucking family comes and they all pray for the person and they bring gifts and they straddle the entire place, or they slather the entire place with flowers, and someone is always visiting them and everything else. And that apparently they assume is giving strength to the patient. The patient right next to them is, and again, apparently this is broadly cultural, so a lot of times Northern European, Swedish, German, English, apparently, even apparently in some cases Russian. I can't remember how many different nationalities she said, but the nationalities that are somewhat more reserved evidently are more like this. The patient kind of flops down in the bed and thinks to themselves, you know what? It's on me to get better. And basically their family in many cases doesn't really spend all that time visiting. Maybe they send a couple flowers, but they're not sitting there praying for them all day long. And the person basically gets the strength from within themselves. Ironically, you would assume that the first group of people do better because you have hundreds of people showing up and bringing flowers and gifts and everything else. But apparently what happens is the patient takes the agency from out of themselves and gives it to the audience, basically, that is trying to help them, instead of taking it upon themselves to get better. And so this group of people that are basically more self-reliant, kind of flopping down in the bed there, they ironically do better. I wish I could remember the fucking expression. Maybe somebody in the chat knows what I'm talking about. But anyway, that's what you got me thinking about, how people who literally have like a will to heal and live, it actually bears out, apparently in medical science, that they do better than people who are like, oh, the world will save me, my friends will save me, blah, blah, blah. Does that make sense? I hope it does. Don't talk about this. I'm gonna make coffee.
Yeah.
Yeah, fighting can help. I've always heard like if somebody's very sick, maybe terminally ill, or very sick, they'll once they give them morphine, that's like considered like, oh,
Well,
that they've
like,
given up.
Like when my dad died, this was some years ago. He was in hospice, and I was there when he died. And then in his nightstand drawer was like his pipe and some different containers of pot I had given him. And the first thing the hospice nurse did, was part of her thing, was to inventory all the opiates that were there, right? And literally, like, my dad only took a couple of them and used cannabis. Earlier, like 2 years earlier, he was like being notified by UCLA that he was getting close on the liver transplant, and they have like this appointment, and he hit a dirty test for cannabis, and they kicked him off the list. And to get back on the list, it was like like if you got a DUI, he had to go to, this was so ridiculous, but he had to go to so many like AA meetings, right? And then test clean, right? Now, they've since changed that that is no longer a reason to boot people off of transplant list. But for years, that's what happened. I went through it myself. It was the most ridiculous thing ever when considering the health condition he had and everything. He was like an example where he was using cannabis. He smoked weeds my whole life and wasn't using all the drugs they were trying to give him. And yeah, they fucked him over that. That was like some real bullshit. I remember it like it was yesterday, even though that was like probably 12 years ago or so. 15 years ago when they booted him off the list after waiting for all these years and like getting close. Yeah, they tested it. I thought that was the most ridiculous thing ever. I was mad about it, held resentment about it because I don't know how much. Well, no, that would have. He would have. The liver was what failed. That like if he got a transplant, he could have survived a little longer, a lot longer.
Of course, maybe in the future there'll be growing organs from stem cells, and it won't be as rare. Won't have to say, "Oh, you don't qualify."
Well, and yeah, I mean, unless you're have a certain financial like, I mean, I guess you could maybe get one for without a huge bill, but no, like that only like ultimately,
Yeah,
it's
it
a
takes
pay to
decades.
play.
Yeah, even nowadays with yeah, stem
Because
cell
even the
therapy.
surgical procedure and all that, oh, that's like super expensive, and somebody's got to pay for it. Now, if you have the right insurance and all that, well, and even them, yeah, that's when you realize that what it really says is, oh, they only cover up to this amount, and the rest is on you. Or whatever, however that hustle.
Yeah, it's like that. Actually, there's some talk about something for sickle cell disease now, but it's real expensive. They just came out with it, some kind of drug or something to help with sickle cell anemia. But it's real expensive.
Well, that was even though like ultimately I don't know, I had hepatitis C from the time I was in prison. They tested positive. I had tested a couple times past that, and then when they came out that new medicine so many years ago that cures it, that's I did not go to a doctor for 30 years. I went to a doctor to try to get on that medicine, and the first thing he did is test me for hepatitis C, and it came back negative. I had paperwork of like other positive tests in the previous years. So they test me again at different lab, come out negative. Because then what the doctor explains to me, well, this doesn't make any sense. Because the test is for antibodies. So if you ever have hepatitis C, even like, in the rare case that you like get over it or whatever, which happens, you would still always test positive for the antibodies. Just like that's what they're testing for. So the fact that you tested positive and then even had the viral load done one time, right? And so the doctor is basically like, yeah, I don't know. This is like, we can't
Yeah, it's
explain this,
amazing.
right?
Yeah,
And
it's
that's
so mystery.
like, not that I'm like anti-doctor, but like, even that I went through that, and then all of a sudden they couldn't even explain, like, it was all unexplainable. Like, where in my crazy, so many years ago, I went from years of thinking I had hepatitis C, which is a fatal ailment, to one day the doctor like said, "Oh no, you don't. You test positive, clean. You don't have it. You don't even have antibodies of it. That doesn't make any sense." Uh,
Mm.
the only thing I did consistently during that whole time of thinking I had hepatitis C from like 1995 all the way to, I think it was around 2015. Drink a lot of fucking coffee and smoke a ton of fucking weed. That was all I did. Like, I didn't eat anything special. I didn't this. I didn't exercise. I didn't take some herbal thing. No, I drank coffee, a lot of it, a lot of it, and smoked a lot of weed. And in this weird thing, because yeah, somehow I had hepatitis C for like a decade or whatever. And then I don't have hepatitis C, not even the antibodies that you would have, which they can't explain. And then in my thinking of cannabis as medicine, and even somehow I think the coffee was like an antioxidant or whatever, like extreme levels. I'm not talking the average amount of coffee or weed, right? Yeah, somehow it cured me. Some miracle, like the doctor's like, yeah, no, this doesn't make any sense. This is not like,
Yeah, it's interesting. Yeah,
and
like science, they don't look into a lot of things. If it doesn't have to do with money or they don't see a real money trail to it, because like that'd be interesting. Like somebody should really look
but
into
the
like
point
why
of
did that
what I
happen
was
with
going to
you
say
and
was is that I forget how much this medicine that can cure the hepatitis C, you have to take it
It's like
like,
$2,000.
yeah, it's like a super high price on it, right?
My best
Whether
friend,
you have insurance or you don't, somebody's paying this, like, this giant price for this pill that probably only cost them like, even if you added in everything, $10 or something. You know what I mean?
so my best friend,
That's bad.
I never shot up when I was getting high and shit. One of my best friends ended up getting to that point where he was banging shit, and he ended up with hepatitis.
Oh.
I know a lot of people that have gotten it just from sharing needles with each other, and a lot of the time, like down in Florida, I'll put it this: down in Florida, they made it really hard to get needles. Like, you would go in and you could only go to like one or two CVS's in all of southern Florida.
Okay,
So
but let me add this. Okay, another person and why he has a liver transplant, Phil Lesh, the Grateful Dead bass player. He never shot up drugs ever. What he thinks, how he got hepatitis C so many years ago. Okay, when you used to snort coke, which was a huge thing for a lot of people for a long time, you would cut straws like at this angle.
oh yeah,
And
it's gross.
when you did a coke for a while, you'd pass the straw just like you pass a joint to people you were partying with. The inside of your nose was usually raw, right? Like meaning, blood transfer. Like even the most minute amount of it. It's not like, oh, look, there's blood on the straw. No, but because it went in someone's nose and then passed to the next person. That a lot of hepatitis C got passed not through shooting drugs, but by actually snorting drugs and sharing straws.
Yeah, there's some greenbacks, rolled up greenbacks. Pass these around.
Like, I'm glad they got a cure and all that, but that was this huge epidemic. Like it wasn't as publicized of like the percentage of people that actually had hepatitis C, but it was a lot more than they, and people got it a lot of different ways, not always through drugs.
Yeah, but 90% is
Yeah.
usually
It's a
either
blood to
sex or
blood,
drugs.
blood to blood transfer. That's what it is.
Yeah, but he took that medicine. We were actually sitting down talking about that medicine. He said with insurance covering it, he's gonna have to pay like $2,500 out of pocket.
Yeah, no, I mean, that's how they do it. Like,
Just total? That wouldn't be too much in total.
But I think you need like 5 sessions or something like that.
oh, it's like a 6-month thing you go through. Yeah, and it's not pleasant. Meaning, yeah, usually when you're taking that, I forget what they call it. Well, I mean, I'm not a doctor at all, but a lot of the treatments that we've come up with, even chemo, even this hepatitis C, it basically like chemo basically is killing you, right? And then it kills it, and then they bring you back to health, right? But like a lot of our strategies is that way. Like the medicine basically like is it doesn't just target and kill whatever cell or whatever. It's across the board. And then they bring your health back, and hopefully without the cancer or virus or whatever else it is.
I hate cancer. I fucking hate cancer. And if I was smart enough, that would be my passion, is to figure out.
I'll say this. In my life, it went from when I first was, grandparents died of cancer and stuff. Yeah. Cancer meant dead. Like there was no, the amount of people that got through cancer was next to none, right? Now today, especially with early detection and certain cancer, cancer's not the end of the world. That happened in my lifetime because, in the 80s and I don't know, maybe even 90s, somebody you knew got cancer. That was it. They might have did some treatment, did this and that, but no, I don't. Now people get cancer and go through some treatment and they're good to go. Now, a lot of that's early detection, where unless you're really forcing the medical system and your doctor to do basic tests, like even
And now you're back. Oh no.
Oh yeah. I had they wanted to have all this blood work done, and I was like, sure. And then you'd assume, because there's just this one box right on the thing that's like the cancer screening whatever test, right? Unless I had asked and said to the doctor, can we make sure we do that? That wasn't part of it, which I thought, wouldn't that just be like, you're going to draw blood, you're going to test it for all this other shit. That would be like preventative. Why wouldn't you just do that all the time? But that's not how it works, right? Because they make more money the other way. Or I don't know why, but you'd think that would just be like, at a certain age, we also add the cancer screening blood work. Unless you ask or try to get that done, they ain't doing it. It's not like part of your physical unless you ask for it.
Yeah.
Which preventative medicine's the whole key to it, but then we don't even practice it. And now they have like even higher technology scans and different things that can, now people with wealth and shit, oh, they have that shit done.
Yeah. Yeah, for a while, there's supposedly like in malls, there was a place you can get an MRI done. Not too expensive, like maybe a couple $100 or something range, and somehow we get a value like a full body MRI that would kind of they made it sound like, and it would just you look for things or a bunch of certain things. I don't know what happened with that, but that sounded like something interesting. You would think, yeah, MRIs aren't dangerous like CAT scans, it's not radiation, and you think more people would just get this as some kind of checkup. Let's see, something, maybe even just some things that we could tell you about your body that might help you in the future, or watch out for this, or something like that. But that was something separate in a mall, nothing to do with insurance. I don't know if they're still doing that.
I mean,
I think
probably
like now with AI too.
like even if you have a full body scan, it still has to be interpreted by somebody who can read the
Yeah,
map, so to speak, right? So I guess that would be expensive. You'd have to take it to multiple people. Probably you'd have to take it to the osteopath and the fucking the kidney guy and the fucking lung specialist and the so and so. So it almost wouldn't be that useful. Maybe that's why it never took off.
and I was just gonna say, yeah, AI, and then you get incorporated. So
That's
then
what I
that
was
would
going
be
to say
cheap, and
too.
then
Yeah, seriously. What an interesting thought, right? Like AI will be able to interpolate the data that you were just asking about and tell you like, oh, Jeff, it looks like you're developing a little bit of arthritis. Perhaps you'd like to change your behavior to do X, Y, Z, and you might avoid that. That's the dream, right? Wouldn't that be fucking amazing?
yeah,
Oh, you're muted, bud.
It always seems like our system, at least the American one, is set up to like what it's like ass backwards. Like we treat you once you're sick. You know what I mean? Or like, yeah, we're far from having what we're talking about. A lot of it is seems like it's financial interest. Like which is that's the screwy part of it.
yeah.
That so much money's made off of it, and that dictates the structure of the care.
Maybe your healthcare system doesn't want to start finding loads of little problems that aren't bothering that. If you don't bring it up, oh yeah, they're not going to start saying, oh yeah, we got to do this and this and this and this. So I can see why insurance wouldn't want
What's up,
to
Southern?
start searching.
I didn't even notice you jumped on.
Not too much, man. Again, hanging and banging. Again, cleaning up some stuff to list up on eBay. There, we just got hammered with like 4 inches of snow in 20 minutes.
Nice.
Wow.
Is that actual gold?
What's that?
Is that a gold dragonfly?
No. These are brass here. These are some old, like, well, I shouldn't say old, 90s, 2000s. They did them all the way from the 1960s. Estee Lauder, solid perfume, little trinket things. Rich people collect this shit. Like, I don't know what this cost brand new. This one's, I don't know, this one's probably like a 99 or 2000 and stuff. They paid, I don't know, 100, $200 for it or something. They resell now for like this one here would be a couple $100 one resell. This is one of the things that will like get you hooked. I have what I have left here. I got a shitload of them posted online, but these here I got to clean up. There's a few different ones here or whatever that were kind of dirty, and I didn't want to post them dirty like this. But what had happened was I went to an estate auction, and nobody ever likes to buy the fucking furniture and shit at estate auction. So a lot of times you can get yourself like a really nice adjustable bed and just have to buy yourself a mattress if you don't want the mattress, or you can get yourself some really, really nice bedroom furniture or even furniture for your house. So I had bought the bedroom set, which is a really, really nice bedroom set. The bedroom set I bought for $40, the women's dresser, resold that for 600, bought the men's dresser for $60 and resold that for $250. And in one of the drawers was 60 different ones of these. And like I was saying, resale wise, used, they range anywhere from like $50 all the way up to, I have a couple that have sold for $299, $199. So there were 60 of these in one of the drawers that when I bought that dresser there, somebody had missed it.
You know, I sold my I wanted to piece out all my Pokemon cards, like single cards and stuff, but that shit's hard, bro. Like listing like every card on eBay, you gotta fucking take pictures of each card.
It does. It takes time.
And they don't let you duplicate. So like I would try to sell 2 Charizards at the same time, and they're like, nah, you can't do that. You can't have 2 listings the same.
Yeah, you'd have to change the listing a little bit. You wouldn't be able to copy and paste the first initial one, or you'd have to put that you have quantity of 2 in that listing. But yeah, to do every single one, you know, if you've got a bunch of good ones and, you know, you need a few bucks and stuff, that's the way, you know, you're going to get the most eyes on it. One thing I've noticed is the Whatnot app, that it's the same idea kind of as eBay, where people have like a store set up and they have things listed to sell, but they do live sales where some folks set a price on their item. Some folks just say $1 and you're allowed to bid like you're at an auction. So there, the Pokemon go unbelievably crazy, and people don't show every card. They show a few of them and the price just goes through the roof because folks are figuring there might be a good one in there. You know, they don't know. A lot of these folks are claiming that, you know, this is a box at a storage unit. I haven't looked through it. 90% of the people probably have looked through it and pulled the good ones out and stuff, but that's a good place to sell them. There's a lot of single people that just specialize, say, in Pokemon cards, and they'll sit there all day live and just show the cards and sell them price or whatever price they put, or they'll let them go as auctions, or you know, that'd be a good one to hustle.
So I don't know if anyone's ever heard of him. His name's Flair. He does hunting and fishing and stuff. He has a huge YouTube. I think he's over 1 million. He does they do challenges all the time where they go buy the cheapest gear, go buy the most expensive gear. Plus they own fishing. So they have all the Guggen baits, all the Guggen rods, all the Guggen reels that they use. And they were like, well, fuck it, let's jump on Whatnot and we'll just auction them off. Because why not? They have fucking piles of baits, reels, like good rods. I even jumped on. I want to buy a Guggen rod.
Yeah, I hustle stuff. I haven't gone on there. I've got approved to do live sales. I haven't gone on there and set myself up and done anything on there, but I do buy off of there and resell because there's tons of folks on there that they're straight up just buying this storage unit and they'll pull a box out and they're letting shit go for nothing. Like I bought, a brand new silverware set. They're in a box. They retail $60 to $80 a set. Brand new. I bought them for $5 a set. So I could put them on for say 50. Hopefully they sell, you know. That's the other thing is a lot of people think, oh, resell them, you know, you make all this money, it's so easy, you just do this. But a lot of times you're sitting on shit for 6 months, a year, 2 years, you know, so you got to have a place to store shit and expect not to actually sell some of the stuff, you know, and actually sit on it for a while. But little things like this will, you know, make the difference. You know, say we sold all 60 of them for $100. They range from $50 to $300. If we sold them all for $100, 60 of them, there's $6,000 that was like a freebie, you know, that just keeps you wanting to go for that hunt and keep going and going.
TikTok just actually let me start making commission off their shop. So if I promote an item and someone buys it through my link, I make a couple bucks.
Yeah. There's a lot of little ways to score a few dollars here and there and stuff. And then even if you could put a channel together that gets monetized, you know, it doesn't take a whole lot of views. You know, I have a friend that it's like 10 to 15,000 views on a video over the course of weeks, months, maybe days or whatever. And, you know, he's been doing it for a couple of years, but he's now making a couple $1,000 a month, and that's all he gets for views is somewhere between 5,000, 10,000, maybe 20,000 on this one, maybe 100 on an occasion, but most things are 5, 10,000 views, and he makes a couple grand a month.
So check this out. Share screen. You don't know I got a YouTube channel, but I got 1, 2, 3 videos with 10K, and then I got a lot of 8,000s, and these shorts, dude, I don't know why.
One problem though is they won't let you monetize a weed channel, will they?
I don't know. I like no, but I've seen people get away with it, and I might start like not.
I mean, if you can monetize it, you should try to score any nickel and dime you can off doing what you're doing and stuff. But if not, you should really get your mind rolling on what you could get for another side channel where you could put something together and monetize it, make a little side hustle. With me with the kitten, how many people watch freaking just a live stream video of kittens running around in a square room playing all day? Like, it's absurd. I could just make a quick little 20-minute video every day of the kittens playing, or something. Next thing you know, boom.
That perpetual motion machine with the ball and like the track, and it like goes down the hole and flips back into it.
Yep.
So this kid went live for like 20, 30 minutes, and he just put that there with some calming music, and he made $40.
Yeah. It's it's crazy what some people will watch and stuff, and you can't. I don't know. It's hard to pass up easy money if you're going to do some stuff like that. There's so many little easy things that you can kind of do to make quick little videos. It's not really long video. I guess the most time is spent in probably like the editing and stuff to get your videos to look good and have the thumbnail look good, and to have anything that is written on the thumbnails and typed in and all your information that you gotta like kind of plug in.
So I own the YouTube name Smoke Show with an exclamation point. Just Smoke Show exclamation point. It's only got 9 subscribers, but like I was thinking of maybe going back and trying to like make that. How do I put this? Kind of like From the Stash podcast. They're monetized and they're making money off AC Infinity, but like no smoking, nothing, just talking.
Right. A lot of elimination of anything. No seeing stuff. No saying certain words. No pictures of plants or whatever.
Well, it seems like we can talk about it. Fumi, have you seen that? Like, I feel like we can talk about it, but as soon as we show something, or maybe even our backgrounds, is what really gets us dinged.
You might be right.
Because like they don't care.
Even people like Hardcore have actually said that. I think the algorithm changes almost by the day, but I don't know. You might be right.
Because sometimes my Let's Get Smashed show on Monday will get age restricted, and other times it just won't. I don't know why. Dude, what is wrong with bro? He's like under a porch.
Honestly, too frustrating with YouTube. Like there's no one to ask, there's no customer service, there's no visible rules. Really, you can comply with their obvious rules. They have you do these weird little trainings from time to time. You do those trainings and it does you no fucking good whatsoever. You still don't understand what the problem is. It's pretty maddening,
I've even appealed stuff, and I said, I am not
appealing anything because it always gets denied. Yeah,
I've had a couple come back okay, but yeah, you're right. Most of the time, it's just not still age restricted. They did help me when someone planned attacked my account, which is shitty. That looks sick.
Well,
yeah, Dragonfly. That's pretty cool.
Like after I've been waiting for this tow company to come give me a bid on moving a 20-foot freezer Connex. And like the last 2 days, I guess it's 2 days, they were rerouted to calls. But all right, the guy finally got up here and then basically explained to me that my driveway, my road up, which is pretty gnarly, the truck that they would need, because part of what it gets down to, they will only move it empty because it's not just a Connex, it's a refridge, so it has extra weight, because the only truck they could bring up here is the smaller one that could only handle that weight. But the plan is to fill it like, yeah, that's like store it. Like I wasn't planning on moving it empty. I was going to store all this stuff in it, which I'm not
You
even
got to
sure.
find another company.
Well,
There's got to be somebody out there that'll haul it full.
yeah, that's there. I have a few other.
That's how we
calls I'm
moved. We
waiting
loaded
back
up
for.
a 32 footer, and we had that thing stacked from the top to the bottom. And the person hauling it said it was the heaviest friggin' box they've ever pulled. And if they went across the scales, they would have definitely been in some trouble. We had that thing packed like Jenga.
Well, the driveway is pretty gnarly as far as like what vehicle can fit on it. So that's some of the factor is it's not that they wouldn't haul it, it's that they can't get the right truck up here to do it.
Oh, yeah, you moved, but you just moved and shit, right? You're not even living at that same house.
No, I'm still at the same house. I'm in the middle of moving.
You just moved to grow, though. I thought that one place.
No, I had two. This place for about 10 years, and I shut this place down due to whatever circumstances. And then my other one is a different place. This one was 100% me. That one is a partnership. But it's all good. So I still have the grow and all that, but not one in. No, I'm moving on to a horse ranch where like part of my responsibilities is doing horse shit and taking care of all these animals. And
so you're gonna live out that range.
The last few weeks or months, I've been spending most afternoons over there. I'll put it this way. I can now put the halter on a horse with one hand, right? Like,
awesome.
To move them to the stalls at night and shit, and put their fly nets on them. These are like 15 to 17 hand horses, show horses, really big horses, but they're really friendly. But
it's funny
when I first started, I didn't know anything. Like, Carrie showed me little tricks. Oh yeah, hold it like this and just do it like that. But the first few times, I startled the fucking horse because they're used to like somebody knowing what the fucking doing. But no, now it's like a month later. I've learned a bunch, and it's some of the most peaceful time I have. Like in my day is the hours. Like why I'm like I could probably not move as fast as I'm planning on it, but like I'm only there in the afternoon to do the afternoon stuff. But when I'm living there, that shit starts at like 7 in the morning. You feed them in the stalls, then you move them back out to the pastures. Then you do this, then you do that, and then there's the fucking parrots, and then there's all the other birds, and the ducks, and the geese, and the bulls, and the calf, and the zebra.
I didn't think you were an early riser. Is that really hard for you to do?
Not really.
No.
Because like even some days now I was like laid up with that hernia for months. So I was very inactive until I had the procedure. Now I'm still taking it easy, but recovering. The first few days, even just to walk from one side of the property back and forth to get the horses, I got home. I was like, oh my God, I'm sore. And I went to sleep early. Right. And it's like this. At first I was resisting this and like trying to, and then came a time where I'm like, oh no, wait, destiny is like leading me. And then came the time where I like looked at it like this. Life is like a book, chapters. You have chapters in your life. And this has been a long ass chapter, fuck, right? But this chapter's ending and a new chapter's opening, right? Even I think I said last night, oh, all of a sudden I have this opportunity to manage or take over this thing up in Humboldt, which like, oh, the animal thing just kind of, it's a friend of mine, but I didn't like, wasn't my, I'm allowing the destiny to put me where I'm supposed to be. And somehow, I think I just want the simple life of like taking care of animals. Fuck all these people, the pressures of it. Oh, nah. I've been doing that for 40 some fucking years. I'm like 60. I'm like, oh, wait, I can spend all day just fucking with animals. Like just spending time doing what they need. Sign me up, right? Even though I couldn't, if it wasn't a friend, I would never be able to get a job like that because I have zero experience. I have dogs and know a lot about dogs and cats, but I know nothing about all these other animals. And there's a lot to know.
Yeah. Yeah. How many horses in those zebra mixes are there?
Well, all the horses combined is 8. Or no, 7
Okay.
at the moment.
All
Because
right,
sometimes there's
that's
boarders.
manageable.
One of them is a boarded horse. And yeah. And then there's 2 bulls, a cow, and 2 calves. And then there's
Yeah.
about 10 different exotic chickens. I don't know all the names, but they're different. No roosters because the neighbors complained. So no.
I actually gotta go. I hope everyone has a great day. Rest of the day.
Yeah, you too, Smash.
Yeah, be safe.
Thanks. Well, that's cool, those animals. Yeah, that's really cool. The move in California can get hairy. I moved once. They had to use, it was a big moving truck, but they couldn't get it up the windy, steep hills to the house. So it was about I don't know, it wasn't that long of a driveway, but it was a long driveway. And so they had to set up a staging area kind of in town where there was a parking lot. And they parked the big semi there, and then they used a smaller van where they brought up loads to the house with that. So that's how they have to do it in California with the mountainy roads. Drive, windy, narrow driveways. The ranch probably won't be bad. That'll probably be pretty accessible. But yeah, the house may not be. I don't know. But yeah, it's like a whole nother lake. Yeah, everything in California is just expensive. And one of the workers, he didn't want to work that day or something. It seemed like, and the driver was upset because he went home. He said, "Oh, there's poison ivy here on the property. I'm allergic to poison ivy. I can't work here. I gotta go." And there was zero poison ivy. He just didn't want to work. And the driver who like drove from another state, he was like, bitching, Californians, lazy. But yeah, that guy.
It's weird. I'm sorry for all the interruptions, but like where I had my insurance and had to go through all this to get my hernia that took months. my buddy that's like a big time cultivator in Mendocino, he was calling me because he ended up having a hernia months ago, and I was had same experience. And because it was the season and it was like time to work, he's put it off, right? He has no insurance, nothing like that. And somehow he flew down to Pasadena because he has a doctor. I don't know about what it's costing him, whatever. He lives in a different thing. He has no insurance, but a doctor's going to, he didn't know for sure because today he flew down to have the appointment, but now they scheduled to do the surgery in a few hours. And I'm the contact, I'm the pickup. Like, they won't let you go unless you can't have Uber pick you up. So I have to drive up to Pasadena, pick him up when it's done, and take him back to his hotel where you can fly home tomorrow. Well, the flights have changed, the schedule, just like anything with him. And now I realize as he just texted me and said, yeah, the estimated time I'm supposed to be done is between 5 and 6. Here's the address. That's like me going to LA in the worst traffic ever. Like, what the fuck? Holy shit, I better leave now. I can add an extra hour to the trip because it's like 5 o'clock rush hour. But that's what friends do for friends. So, yeah. And I think he underestimates, like, yeah, I couldn't have flown anywhere the next day. I just had this done like 3 days, and then I might have been able to like go fly somewhere if I had to. But he thinks he's flying home tomorrow morning. I'm like, all right, well, that's gonna be it. I guess that's what the drugs are for. If we had the right drugs, we probably could. The painkillers, but I didn't really dope up. It wasn't that kind of pain. The pain I was having the first 3 days was from they didn't use stitches or staples. They just used super glue basically. And then that made it that any movement, your skin didn't have any give. And like, it wasn't the operation or any of that hurt. It was the stinging pain from your skin when you moved at all. Like, even because your skin can't move when it's super glued together. That's what I realized. Like, holy shit, this super glue shit might work great, but the downside is yeah, there's no give, and then any movement, just like any, stings like skin pulling apart, or I don't know, the glue or whatever.
Flying doesn't sound like a good thing to do after that. My older brother had hernia years back, and then there was a recall of
Yeah,
the patch or whatever they use. He was
yeah,
involved with that, and
that was
now
a
he's
huge
having
thing.
some problems again.
And now they guarantee the new, I forget what company, 3M or whatever, makes some mesh, even though that the mesh they made years ago all had to be replaced because it was toxic or some shit.
It dissolves, or it doesn't hold because it's not
Yeah.
working. It needs it done again.
Well, as the time goes by and it's now in my past, a couple times thank God there's doctors and procedure went so well, and because that was like debilitating. Like, there was a time when people just lived with a hernia. And everyone's hernia is totally different. Like some people, they say, yeah, it's not so bad. They just live with it. Mine, oh no, I was basically handicapped for the last couple months.
What are the symptoms, or at least what were your symptoms, bud?
Well, basically, in your stomach area, your muscles separate. So then basically this bulge appears where your intestines or whatever fucking come out. In the first few months, if I was standing up and active, I'd get this bulge. It wasn't painful except like this. It was pressure. It felt, even though it's above your balls and all that shit, it felt like what it feels like if you ever did get kicked in the balls, like 10 minutes later, where it's still like this weird pressure kind of pain, but constant. But then as it progressed, if I sat
Kind of like
down,
blue balls too.
lay down flat for 5 minutes. At first, I worked through it. Instead of going and doing 4 hours of whatever, I'd be able to do about 45 minutes. I'd take a break and lay flat, and the thing would go back down. But then, as the months of bullshit with the insurance and all this shit, at the end, it didn't. The lay flat didn't make it go down, and I got down to about 15 minutes of standing before what it was just pressure pain, right? And
it's some of the weirdest feeling, weirdest pain to try to explain to someone.
Yeah. And I could see where you could just work through it. I could see that. It's not that it's, but some people have different thresholds. But no, myself, no, I couldn't do much. And then once they fixed it, there's the operation recovery from being cut open, all that shit. But I'm 1,000% better. Like, holy shit. Now I'm still like, hey, the doctor told me 8 weeks, don't lift anything and all this. So I'm still like and I'll probably always think more before I do something like lift or something that, because even though they say, once you got the mesh, everything, it's, well, no, ultimately you couldn't be 100%. There's like a mesh in there. I don't want to re-injure it or something. So I won't be lifting actually what caused it wasn't just one 5-gallon container. It was 2 5-gallon containers of newts with a bunch of like smaller, I guess, quart bottles in a box. And I remember when I first tried to put it in my trunk, because it was down by my gate, thinking, I should get my razor knife and just cut this box open, which I've done numerous times when things get delivered to my gate, and then put one of the 5-gallon and then one. Oh no, dumbass me was like, just fuck it, lift the whole box. And that was it. Like, that was too much in that position, whatever. I got it up in there and didn't even think anything when it happened. It was like hours later, I was like, ooh, what's that? And then I went and looked. I was like, the fucking, what the fuck? I have a bulge right there. And then I kind of knew right away. I've heard of hernias, and I Googled a pit hernia and the image, and I was like, that's a fucking hernia. There it is. It's pretty easy to diagnose that. But yeah, it was being stupid and lifting too much in an awkward way. Like May something. That's when it happened. I know when it happened.
When my back is giving me super bad problems, just me trying to support myself with different muscles, it'll start activating and causing issues with my hernia. I've had a double hernia back in the day, and it'll cause issues and it'll put me down for a couple days. Sometimes I can catch it before it happens too bad and just deal with it for the afternoon. Sometimes it bothers me for a few days. Sometimes it'll bother me for a week. But just trying to walk around some days and get up and move around is enough to cause it to me. My grandfather had a real bad hernia, and he always had to wear like this Velcro thing around his gut and stomach to kind of help hold everything in and support it and stuff.
No, I bought one of those on Amazon in July when I went to the Dead shows, right? Thinking, yeah, that was going to help, but I wore it 2 of the 3 days. The last day, I was like, no, this isn't this. It was just no, like you wear this thing and you're trying to like squeeze your guts back into yourself.
Right. Yeah.
So when are you going to move to that ranch, bud?
I'm hoping to be like fully, like even in this week, like after this weekend, I might start sleeping there and just coming back here to do the last stuff, like make the final push. A lot of it is, okay, I need to call my internet provider and
Bad ears.
have my broadband thing moved over there, or there's Wi-Fi in the main house, but we'd have to boost it, but could maybe make it to where my house is because it's a big property. But I'll just keep my provider, the broadband thing, and then yeah, that's it. Like be like, all right, TV, computer, broadband, stereo, whatever. Move that. I realize where that goes is where I go. It's weird. Like I could already start sleeping there and all that shit, but it's like, oh, but wait, I don't have any of that. What would I do with myself? Well, my phone works there and shit, and I have like some Bose speaker wireless. Sometimes I kick back and chill there, but I haven't slept there yet. But
speaking of a Bose speaker, can you guys? Am I echoing?
Teeny bit.
Not bad, though.
I'm using my speaker, my Bose speaker right now.
Yeah, you don't sound bad, Ryan.
Oh, this is J5. What's up, Southern Vermont?
Oh, J5. I'm sorry about that. I sounded a little bit like Ryan for a minute.
Yeah, don't be mistaking me with Korkowski for crying out loud. I ain't that hardcore, bro.
No, the leech breeder.
Nah. I brew up a
Looks
ferment
like he's
here and there,
mining.
but
His legs as we speak.
yeah,
Chillin', how you doing, man?
ferment and stuff.
Well, I mean, you can't confuse a Michigander with a Minnesotian, right?
Oh, you sure can, eh? We all sound the same. We're damn near Canadian. Oh, speaking of Canadians, I threw on my my 03 Wien tour shirt for all my Canadian homies out there. You see the name of it. Quebec. That's about all I know about Canada.
Well, yeah, I'm rolling joints for my trip in a few hours. But then I just realized Billy String's second night of Pittsburgh stream starts at 4:30-ish my time, 7:30 East Coast. When I'm in the worst of this traffic, getting up to Pasadena, which is like a couple hours from here, I'll have the music. I won't be able to watch the video of it, but I don't need to watch the video. I just listen to the licks. And
yeah, it's nice catching something live on the road.
the thing, I've been in traffic
by.
one time listening to Billy Strings music, all that picking, ding, ding, dong, dong, it's not really traffic music. It like gets you wanting to like get moving and a little impatient.
Start giving a little bumper
like,
bump.
oh, humming along at 70 with that going is nice. But bumping stop and go shit with Billy playing all the licks could be a little stressful, but that's what the weed's for.
Yeah, that helps.
Or he
I don't
could
deal with
be
traffic like that.
he has different sets, like different shows. Like tonight he could play like a bunch of the songs that are more suited for traffic. Actually, no music is suited for traffic. That's the fucking truth. Fuck traffic. And maybe I'll get lucky. One thing about LA, it's traffic and it's bad and it can even be worse. But you never know when. Like, you think, it's rush hour. It's going to be the worst ever at that time. It might not be, but then another time of the day was brutal. And what do we call them? SIG alerts or some shit. A lot of it is because they had no other space to make more lanes in LA over the years, or Southern California. We don't have like emergency lanes. So if somebody's car has a flat or runs out of gas or there's nope, they're just stuck in the freeway. And then that creates bad traffic. Or if there's no pull off the freeway lanes. There used to be, but they turned those into actual lanes to make extra lanes. And narrowed all the lanes to like make it fit. So then people are like actually closer together, side by side, and that makes people nervous, and then they break. That's part of the problem. Too many cars is the problem.
Yeah, pretty much nowhere is got the traffic like California. And then you also have motorcycles cutting lanes.
Well, I mean, I've been in San Diego, North County, but San Diego for 25 years. They spent all these years on the 15 building this. It's a separate whole thing. And they have a way that they push the center divider over one way or another, depending which, commuter traffic. It's the express lane or the diamond lane or whatever they call it. Actually, I think you have to pay to even drive in it. Took them all these years. It never seemed like they made any progress. They were just working. That fucked up traffic for 10 years or so. Oh, it's been some years now. Oh, they got it all finished. Yeah, we don't have that shit here. We have like a little congestion on the coast on the weekends sometimes, but no, San Diego doesn't have there's always gonna be a wreck and something, but no, that's what makes San Diego America's finest city. That's what we call ourselves, America's finest city. Every city thinks they're the best.
San Diego might be though. The weather is just perfect. I mean,
Yeah, that and overall, yeah, people. It's a pretty mellow place. It's not like so crime related. There's crime
Yeah.
everywhere, but it's
Not as
yeah,
crazy extreme as
and even
northern
the lower
and LA
income
area.
areas, Escondido, Vista, whatever. Oh no, people are. It's all good there, and it seems like there's plenty of jobs or whatever. And well, it's expensive as fuck to live here. That's for
Probably
sure.
isn't it? It's a little more conservative, at least than the rest of
Well,
California, but probably still not
okay.
conservative.
Here's the reality of that is like the classic example of yeah, because they're the only ones that vote. But if everyone voted, oh, they're outnumbered by a lot. But a lot of
Yeah,
the coastal,
huge state population.
surf, skate, younger people, a lot of the, I guess the more liberal people in this area, a lot of them don't vote. That's it. And that's how the other side, yep, we definitely are like one of the worst congressmen. He's now, I don't know, maybe he's a congressman in another district, but the guy, Daryl Issa, his office is right off this freeway, or it used to be. He was our congressman forever, but he was like, at one point, he was the richest congressman. Like, he didn't brag that very much because the car alarm. What's the car alarm company? He
Viper.
Yeah, but basically he controlled car alarms, like when they all conglomerated and GM, Ford, all them contracted with certain alarm in every car now. It just comes with the car. Yeah, he somehow owned something, the rights to, yeah, he became beyond mega rich off of that. Whoa, he was a congressman. All these weird deals happened that, oh, he wasn't the only alarm guy in the game, but he became the one that made all the big money from car alarms. That Daryl Ice, and he was like crazy as fuck and corrupt and has all these other stories. He was beyond nuts, but he was constantly reelected right in my area, where it's like, wait, who? But it's because people don't vote. That's it. It's not because they're the majority. I mean, to be honest,
I'm
if
about
they
to
made
roll out.
a real easy thing, and it was like some countries, it's like your duty to vote. It's not like an option or whatever. But like if you didn't have to, I don't know. We're in this modern world, but somehow made it that a huge percentage, if not everyone, voted. Well, then none of this shit, none of these people would be the people there. Like they know
Well,
that.
there should be two parties, so we can just start there, and that's about where it ends.
Yeah.
There should be no parties.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it was more like a gimmick, but he actually registered in the early 80s. The Merry Pranksters, Wavy Gravy, Ken Kesey, and it was really Wavy Gravy, had a campaign. I think it was, I forget what election. It was like Reagan era, maybe, or Carter, somewhere in that era. And they had a bus on tour, like a hippie bus. It was painted on the side and gave away all these stickers, which I have a few of these stickers that are like, I moved them to my new house already because it's I haven't decided where I'm putting it up. But it was the nobody for president campaign. Nobody for president. You can Google it and all this media stuff comes up about it because it was a thing. Nobody for president, right? Like that was the thing. And there was shirts, pins, stickers, and a bus and Yeah, I'm a firm believer in that. Like nobody for president.
Wasn't there a big Zappa for president thing back in the day? Frank Zappa? Wasn't there one of those like fake campaign things or whatever, or like a movement? Not really a movement, but like T-shirts probably printed or something like that. I think it was Zappa
Yeah,
for president.
probably. Yeah, back then we had a better sense of humor.
Can you see any of this, bud?
I want to. Yeah,
Yeah.
I see it. It's a little blurry. It's purpley.
Is it focused though?
Not much.
No, maybe your hand behind it might work.
Yeah, I pretty much, I mean, it's kind of probably not the best way to get your information, but for most of my information, I watch the Colbert and Jimmy Kimmel's monologues. And because at this point, it's just the whole thing is all you can do is laugh at it. Because if you even try to take any of this, the way things are, seriously, you can't. It's beyond like, I don't know what's happened, but we're in like crazy town, like the whole world, especially like everything, not just politics, everything. It's like, holy shit, this is whack.
This little piece here is some of what I'm about to roll. This is Fumi Sour Morgana.
I was going to ask if it was Fumi's or that other one. Looked
No, this is
looked
the
like
first
a
I showed.
ruby jackish. That dark was that darker one of Fumi's?
No, just this
Yeah.
little piece here is the first time I've shown anything of Fumi's. I just dug
Oh,
it up to
okay.
roll it up.
Move it back a little bit or put your hand behind it and then it'll focus on the palm a little bit better. There you go. Yeah, see, now it knows what to focus on. Move it back closer to your palm a little bit. There you go. Now we can kind of see it. I think that's about as close as it's going to be able to focus. Frosty. Yeah, it looks like Morgana.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's nice herb. It doesn't have the strongest nose, but it's really good smoke. I like it.
Right on.
I can't really describe it. I'm horrible at that crap.
Mhm.
Unless it's gas, I don't smell it.
Happens.
But it's tasty smoke. I like it. Beautiful, beautiful fucking plant.
Cheers.
Cheers. I don't know what I showed you. What are you guys smoking on? What's your flavor of the day there, buddy Kilowatt?
I've been smoking apples and bananas. And I also keep going back to this. We already decided not to take clones and run it, but it's belts, rainbow belts crossed into the OG, which well, I guess it's been a few months that it was a seeds from Masonic and it was from my cut of OG and his rainbow belt. I really wanted it to be something like had a lot of, but you know, I've had to accept it. It's stony, no question. It ain't bad weed, but no, it's not. It's not
What's it lacking?
terp.
Potency? Terps?
No, it's super stony, no
I
question
was gonna
there.
say it's got to be
If
potent.
people just smoke for that, then it's okay. But and it had good looks, it had like kind of a lavender kind of thing going on color wise. It's just it's not It's not dank. This is okay. It's stony, but it's not. There's no like, man, that tastes good. And if you're gonna continue, you could probably call it something else and be decent weed. But if you say it's rainbow belts crossed into something, people expect rainbow belts. No, somehow there's no fucking. There's not. No, that didn't come through. We only had one pack, and I think it got down to like 3 plants. We chose 2 of them that structurally were a little different, but no, just wasn't a keeper.
Well,
and when you crack packs of seeds, that's sometimes the way it is. Oh, if it was the only weed you had, you'd be all right. But we live in a totally different era than that now.
the fact that Rainbow Belts is so flavorful and a Z cross is just impressive in itself.
But I've
Most
seen
of
a
Z
lot
cross,
of
it doesn't pass on that trait that easily. And
that's the
like Belt, Melvin, there's only been a couple I've tried that have really been impressive. And then I figure the further away you get from that Z plant, probably less chance it is of that recessive is going to pop up.
Yeah, I think that's what's happening because there's definitely a lot of Z crosses
that are just diet Z. Like, no, thank you.
Yeah, and I've had a couple of those. Well, yeah,
I've got a couple of them here right now.
But what made the Z like the original or the true Z is it's not faintly there. Oh, it's like
it's
loudly there. Yeah.
Yeah, I agree. What other cultivars did you? I heard you list off like a dozen of them the other day.
Well,
and you're choosing out of these ones which ones you want to keep, and this is from a seed hunt?
No, friend who I asked for one
particular
cut of his, when he brought him over, showed up with 12 different things. Which, all right, I couldn't be like, oh, dude, I only asked you for the one. Right? But like, especially with all these, even if I had this place operating right now, yeah, I'm in a monocrop mentality the last year. So trying to stay focused on that. So out of the 12, the one that I asked him for that I've been asking for and want to get the cut of, because I've had it in rosin and in bud, it is really tasty. It's this thing called Hollywood Pure Kush, but some people call it Topanga Canyon Kush or something. Right? I grew up in Topanga Canyon, so all right, that sounds fun. So I got that. But then he also brought me a Katsu Bubba that I'm like, all right, I guess I'll run that, see what's that, take clones off of it, and see what it is. And then a Kush Mints, we're on the fence about taking clones of it. We'll probably just flower the plant he gave me.
Is it the rabbit hippie cut? Is it the hippie cut?
Yeah, it's one. He's a breeder guy. It's one that he thinks I would want. And then
I'm sure it is.
The smaller, these are already in teen size or big. They're more than a clone. But then the clones, the other 9, out of the ones I chose, I-95, Romulan, and Star Dog to take clones off of and run, and we'll see.
Well, you can send me the other ones.
Now the thing could be that the ones I don't take clones off of will be a big mistake, but
that's why you send them to me, bud, and then I'll tell you.
Yeah. But in today's world, I don't think there are any mistakes. Like even if something that you have emotional attachment and you lose it, or it's so much. It just gives you space to try other things, and there's so many.
There's too much good pot out there to settle for anything mediocre.
Yeah, like I remember never feeling this, but in the last few years, I realized in my lifetime, I'll never get to grow out like half of these, most of them. Even the seeds I've collected is more than a lifetime well, you could just grow them out.
Dude, I can't. I'm trying.
Right? Oh, one plant.
And I keep buying more.
But like I
Fucking
came
holiday.
out of like a grow era of like if you if you have a cut and then if you have a plant, you take cuts of it in case it's going to be something you want to keep and run. And if you do that, well, then you have to be a little more selective in how many of them or which ones you are putting that effort into. Like 3 years ago, I started out doing that, but then I got so many different things going. In the last year and a half of going crazy, popping seeds, I would just grow them out. And I remember at first being like, whoa, what if that's the one or whatever? And then now that I'd done that for a while, I realized, yeah, that was old thinking. Like in today's world, you don't even have to think like that. Like, because I used to like drive myself crazy that I backed up every single plant in case. I don't trip like that anymore. I don't put that pressure on myself.
I-95.
Yeah.
Where is that sucker?
Well, like I have a few friends that are breeders. They have these like incredible libraries, but a lot of times they don't want to give you. They want to give you the crosses that they make and are proud of. I get that, no problem. That some of those are probably all that they are, but usually when I'm in communication, talk to them, I'm always like, yeah, no, you got that? You got the I-95, for instance? Yeah, just give me that. I don't want I-95 Wilson, or I don't want I-95 this or that, or I just want I-95. Not that I put. Now, a lot of that is these guys keep this stuff because, oh, it's their breeding stock, and I just grow it. Like, I'm not trying to get a hold of these things for then I can make seeds myself. That's not at all anything I ever think of. But I like to grow.
Yeah, I-95, that's what this is right here. There's some I-95 in the dime bag cut. That's why I got it, actually. Motor Breath by I-95.
Oh, that sounds...
I've got all my Black Friday seeds here now, finally. And speaking of Bubba, I'm gonna run a bunch of Bubba Fems this year. I'm gonna run this one.
Bubba Fems, you said?
A bunch of Bubba Fems.
Right on.
Different crosses, not just straight Bubba. I do have some Bubba S1s too.
Who's that from?
This is CSI. This is the Sour Bubba Kush. This is the Sour Diesel by Bubba, the original Bubba. And then I've also got that Sour P, that Sour D by that HP13. I'm looking for the Bubbas, is what I'm looking for, and I can't find them.
Did you 420? By the way, the question is, I should have asked earlier and I forgot, frankly. Do you guys want to keep chatting for a little bit, or you want to call it now? What's the plan of your day?
Well, in a rare moment, I have to actually get off either way, whether you guys going or not, because even though they said 5 to 6, I just got an update that it's more like 4, so I got to get on my way to Pasadena. Pasadena. Have a good one, everyone. We'll see you Saturday. It was always good chatting with y'all.
Good to see you.
I'm glad that Southern and J5, Ryan, Jeff all come on where panels are growing more interesting all the time.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, good talking to you, bud.
Yeah.
Yeah, be safe.
Everybody.
Have a good one, bud.
I guess I'll go too.
Send me those other cuts that you don't want.
Right?
Yeah, but thanks for hopping on, you guys.
I'll tell you if any of them are good.
I did some moon
seeds from Bud Outdoors this year, and was kind of happy with those. Those are pretty good, and I'm gonna try playing with them again next year.
What was that, Southern?
I did a moon boots cross that I got from Bud. He had sent me. I think they were something Masonic had done. And I did it outdoors in the greenhouse. And
the
was
original
actually
from Archive. I don't know if Masonic worked on it, but
I've got a couple moonbow crosses somewhere here too. Moonbow and something 78. I think it's like the 35 or the 33 and the 45 or something like that.
Mhm.
Yeah, I've been thinking about checking those out myself with all this moonbow and Z terp talk, and I don't have one anymore. And I like one very much.
I'm
But I don't want to
currently
go
rolling
Skittle.
up some of the Tis But a Scratch. I pulled it. I pulled the first pull off it like September 15th, September 20th or so. And it was nice and cloudy at that point. She was ready to be pulled and stuff. And then I let the rest of it roll. And so she took on some color from some of the cold weather and stuff. So this will be the first time I'm trying some of the green where it still had the green look to her and was kind of, I guess you'd call it a little bit of an early pull, but it wasn't early in the aspect of the plant not being ready.
right on.
Got the Tis But a Scratch and the Sour Morgana were real quick finishers, quick runners, quick finishers. Like I could have
Yeah.
pulled those in the middle of September. Really, really happy with the timing on those and stuff.
Nice.
They're going to be something I'm going to play with again next year as well. Yeah, you know how it is your first year on any cultivar. You do it to the best of what you got going on, and you
Right.
know you can make adjustments from that, and it only gets better.
I hope so.
Through that.
Yeah, man. Sounds like a plan.
I've
By the
been
way,
one and done and shit.
oh, go ahead.
No, I just said I've been one and done and shit the last few years, so it's always something new, I guess. I don't know where I was going with that. I lost my thought.
Well, I was going to back up a second and say J5, I have not very many seeds of this, but I'm honestly curious how they came out. I have runs to Coot Special, and I just haven't had time to do anything with it. If you'd be interested in testing that, I'd be interested in sending it to you, but that's because that's very likely to have those Z-terps. It's going to be lemon cleaner on the dad's side and runts on the mom's side. So it should be nice. But of course, you never know.
If you can wait, if you want to see them in the beds, I'm not going to be. Well, I could maybe run them this winter. When do you want them popped by?
As soon as
Like I'll throw a
possible.
couple of them out in the greenhouse this summer. If you want to see
Think
them how they do outside.
We'll
But I
think
don't
about
think I'm
it
going to be.
because
I'm thinking
that
my
food
boss. I don't
special,
have anything.
unfortunately. Oh, sorry, we're talking over each other. Go ahead.
Yeah, I don't even. I got a couple things in re-veg right now. I'm not flowering anything. I'm not planting doing it anytime soon.
No worries.
But
Well,
if
for
you'd
what
like
it's
to see how
worth,
they do
ladies and
outside,
germs, before we do fuck off for the afternoon, I am looking for testers, and I have, as you can see now, I have quite a few things that I was hoping to maybe, work on myself or whatever else. But because of the sort of, I don't know, well, frankly, moving and everything else, I just probably won't have time for a lot of those things. And by the time I would have time to get back to them, I have new stuff to already work on. So there's a lot of stuff that I would still like to make some use of because I put a lot of effort and sometimes, money and time and everything else into the process. So I have quite a few things, even in some cases, the runts, I don't think I have honestly more than maybe, I don't know, 50 seeds of that one total. So it's not something I'm going to release, but it's definitely something I'd like to see the results of and maybe get clones of and then work some stuff into that because of course, maybe my plan was XYZ. We don't have to get into the details of every single thing that I bred. But there's a number of things that I would like to work on. There were a couple of strains that I was holding to for myself, basically, for internal breeding stock. And I realize now, honestly, like maybe, especially because of the move and stuff, I'm probably going to change directions anyway. So might as well release those things. So first, I think I'm going to test them and then hopefully release them. One is Cuvée to Girl Scout, I'm sorry, Cuvée to Coot Special. And the other one is Forum Cut Cookies, Girl Scout cookies to Coot Special. Both of those were, I mean, you've probably heard me talk about already, the Sam Olsen crosses, the runts of Eden Coot Special and the Girl Scout cookies Coot Special crosses. Good Eye, those are basically playing in that same Girl Scout cookies cross, basically played a role in that cross. Anyway, I think it's going to be a spectacular cross. We've already seen some results with it. I'm growing some myself right now, so I think it's going to be some very interesting shit. And of course, Cuvée by Special is going to be spectacularly interesting. Very different version of Morgana, obviously with a very different father, but father, brother of a different mother kind of thing. I think it should be resemblant. That's not a word. I don't know. There should be some resemblance to Morgana, with, I think, some very interesting landrace characteristics thrown into the mix. So anyway, should be some really interesting stuff there. You guys have heard me talk about, of course, those Runts of Eden F2 crosses, and of course the Runts of Eden Girl Scout Cookies Coot Special mashup. I have a few things, as you guys can tell already, that I need testing. Pacifica Days version 2, that's basically the Oaxacan Thunderfuck, this time to the Jack the Ripper male. So, ladies and germs, please sign up, DM me and on Discord. If you need a Discord link, of course, just ask during one of the shows. D or I would be happy to give you a link. Otherwise, or perhaps sometimes someone else in the chat might give you a link as well. We're a friendly bunch here. Or, of course, email me, fumidor@chronictable.com. Please remember, sometimes it takes me a few days to get back to you, but I will do my absolute best to get back to you. I try not to ignore people on my freaking email. So, ladies and germs, again, fumidor@chronictable.com. Back to you guys. Who wants to go first, or who was going to say something? Go for it.
Fumi, what else did you hit with that Jack the Ripper?
Say it again.
What all have you hit with that male, that Jack the Ripper male?
Oh, very good question. I'll be finding out. This sounds like a crazy answer, but I'll be finding out in the next couple of weeks. So I hit quite a few things when I was gone. Basically, in the process of moving and everything, I basically sent some plants to a few friends' gardens, but then I had to go to Israel very suddenly, and I was nowhere to be found, and my friends weren't really ganja experts. So unfortunately, the weather hit almost everything pretty fucking hard, and for the most part, I didn't get very good harvests. The harvests were not as bad as I thought they were. I thought there was basically a total loss, but actually it wasn't a total loss. In a few cases that I had I guess I don't want to be specific, but at one friend's house. So I have some seeds from, literally some seeds, I'm working on it, from a few crosses. And now I have a few things finishing up in the garage. I don't know how many seeds there are yet. I just honestly don't know. I know that sounds like a bizarre answer, but I wasn't the one to pollinate, and the plants have gone through a lot. They're still alive and everything, but they're not. They don't look like, when I see them, they don't look the same. First of all, they were outdoor plants, and that's the first time I've ever seeded outdoor plants. So we'll see. Honestly, like, if we don't have nice mature seeds, I won't be able to say that I seeded much of much, right? So I basically am trying to put up another breed here in the very near future, basically indoors. So we'll see. Honestly, I don't have a good answer for you. I hope that there's some very interesting stuff. I hope that there's this one. I definitely have clones of it, so I'm going to do it in the future. If it didn't succeed this time, the plant seems seeded, and the plant seems quite healthy, so we'll see. But it's basically, I'm working title is Jackie the Ripper. It's basically a Jack the Ripper F2, I guess you could call it, but with the Coot Special in the mix, and then thrown back to Jack the Ripper, the Jack the Ripper male. And it has really delightful structure and terpenes and everything. Should have that crazy Coot Special sativa vigor and uplifting high and everything else. Should be a real monster, honestly. Of course, time will tell. We're going to test that one, but I'm really quite excited about that one. That Jackie the Ripper has been an incredibly resilient plant. She was super healthy, even with, I mean, you fucking name it. Bugs of every fucking kind, rain, this, that, the other thing. I mean, I don't even know. People just fucking manhandling her from, outside indoors, back outdoors again, still healthy. Anyway, crazy plant. So I'm really looking forward to that one. Hopefully seeds of that one to be soon. If not, then obviously I'm going to breed her again, because a stunning, stunning plant. A few other things too. So we'll see. And after that, I don't want to just stop with that Jack the Ripper male. That was basically one step in the road. But yeah, I hope to integrate that Jack the Ripper well. I don't feel like I don't want to just skip that round. Like it was painful enough kind of to skip the Coot Special round. So I don't want to repeat that process for the Jack the Ripper. I really want to make that one count. I tested that male quite well and stuff. So I honestly want to make the work pay off somehow. So, and then after that, I think I'm going to work on a couple of feminized crosses and hunt for another male. I've been planting a few seeds. Unfortunately, some of the old seeds that I've been planting recently have not been germinating, so that's kind of annoying. But it is what it is. It's, I guess, part of the selection process of freaking seeds. So I'm going to start planting some more stuff in the near future here. And hopefully, like I say, hunting some of my own males to work in the future into the whole breeding line. Basically, there's sort of a method to my madness. But anyway, hope that's an answer. I don't know if that was an answer. It's pretty long-winded.
Yeah, it was somewhat.
Right on.
It
I'm
made
fine that we're
nice
pretty
and
stoned
stoned
here.
from this.
I still, my
Minnesota
tolerance
scratch.
has dropped
Really
like a
happy with
rock
it.
or went up or whatever the expression is, but I still get pretty high. So I don't get as high as I did when I came back from Israel, but I still get pretty freaking high. So
word. All right, who's all here? Oh, there we go. Jeff, Kokowski, Southern. Peace out, y'all. Fumi, thanks for having me on.
yeah, man.
Yeah, thanks for hopping on.
Deuces, if I can figure it out.
Later, J5.
Good
Here's
hearing
your
from you.
Good to see you, buddy.
Yeah, that was cool, Southern too. What you were talking about and showing us. That was some really nice stuff. Those little golden thing. I don't even know what they were. But yeah, it was cool. So, and thanks for me and Ryan. I don't know, you're in the mine, it looks like. So keep working. Talk to you guys next time. Bye.
Yeah, man.
Have a good night, Jeff.
By the way, Sam, if you're wondering if people can see your comments, yes, we can. I can see them. I think they're normal. Go for it. Hardcore. Go for it. Oh, he's off in wildly yonder.
I'll head out of here.
Go for
Really
it.
happy with this September 20th pull. Tis but a scratch. This stuff's really good. Nice heavy smoke. Got like a glue rubber taste
Right on.
going on. It's got me fucking sweating. Really good smoke. Really happy with this. This is the first time checking it out. Anyhow, peace out. Much love. Everybody stay safe. See you next time.
Cheers, VT. Good to see you, buddy. Go for it, hardcore. He's there, but he might not be able to hear us. Oh, yeah, he can. He's coal mining.
Yeah, I got to get my tools situated. Taking far longer than it should.
Are you in a what's the word I'm looking for? Crawl space?
I'm crawling in an attic.
Oh, right on. It's a form of crawl space, I guess you're right.
Yeah. Nice mouse piss terps.
Oh, delightful.
They
That's everyone's favorite.
really stay in the back of your fucking mouth.
Oh, delightful. Very healthy for you, I've heard too.
Oh yeah. But I gotta get back to it and get this shit done.
Yeah,
Have a good one.
Later, buddy. Brief as Ryan's outros always are. Anyway, folks, I guess that's all. That's it. I don't know what I'm trying to say, but I guess I'll freaking babble through it somehow. Thanks very much for joining us, folks. Thanks for hanging with us. Thanks, all of you, frankly, for tuning in. Thanks to Jones and to Grow. What attic crawl? One of my favorite pastimes. HVAC fun. A few years ago, I don't know, maybe 5 or 6 or 7, no, probably more than that, about 8 years ago, we came back from kind of a Christmas vacation to whoops, our freaking water lines broke. A friend of ours who was supposed to take care of the house just decided not to, basically, and literally, like, for some reason, only ever went into the kitchen. Oh, I think she didn't know how the key worked or some shit. I don't know. It was a dumb story, honestly. But anyway, didn't take care of anything. All our house plants died. We had so many house plants that the whole garden died. And on top of that, we had like one of the biggest freezes in Portland history that year. And sure enough, the water pipes basically burst. And when we came home, I think, turned on the water. I don't remember honestly, but oh my God, I think I turned on the water pretty much. And my God, did it start raining? Holy fucking shitballs in the house. So I had to crawl up there and fix. I don't even know how many bursts. It was several, actually, frankly. Oh, that was amusing. That was amusing. Is one word for that story. Anyway, thanks very much, Robert Greenfingers, for joining us. Good to see you, buddy. Pip Jam, of course, always a pleasure. Poor Pizza Dave, good to see you, buddy. I don't think I ever saw that comment, or maybe you didn't say. Maybe you were busy. I was curious about the Morgana mail. Anyway, maybe next time, hop on one of these days. It'd be fun to chat with you. Green Puffin Man, good to see you. Who else in here? I'm always missing people. Operation Annihilation, Test Nugs, good to see you guys. St. Bernard's observation booth. He's taking bong rips of puppy love over there. Always good to see St. Bernard's. We haven't seen him for a while. Old School's in the house. Or Morgana, he's saying Morgana is beautiful. Thank you very much, Old School. Excuse me. Well, I should probably end this poll, I realized. Good to see Sam Olson. I think I didn't mention that earlier. Sam Olson, very much the same Sam Olson that bred the first round of Fumidoro Skunkworks seed testers, ladies and gentlemen. Some very interesting crosses indeed. We're going to do, I think, honestly, we're going to do 5 different testers because I think they're probably interesting enough. Even the smell from the tester smells interesting enough. So we'll see. We might combine them, honestly. We might combine... of course, also depending on how many testers sign up. Before I went to Israel, I think I had enough testers, but times passed. D was right. We were kind of talking on the show, and honestly, when D was like, "Man, you should probably sign up new testers," I was like, "Man, even just the tone of voice." I'm like, "Man, it's been 3 or 4 months. Like, I should honestly try again." Basically, some people I'm sure are still interested, but of course, some people's plans change and stuff like that. So, anyway, we're going to try anyway to do 5 different testers. We can always combine them. I can always do half and half. I can do 5 seeds and 5 seeds of each, or 5 seeds of both, or whatever the fuck. We can figure something out. Most important thing, honestly, is that they get tested. Come on, I'm not trying to ban these people. I'm trying to move up in the chat. This is the most annoying feature of the YouTube chat right now. Come on, please stop that. There we go. Patricia Walker, good to see you. Johnny Grow lately, good to see you as well. Martial artist, I think I missed your name there. Who else is hanging with us? Dead Fish fan was in the house, and of course, Smashed might be listening in the background as well. Thanks very much, lurkers, non-lurkers, people cry more grows, of course, too. Folks hanging in the background, working in the garden, whatever you guys are doing. If you guys work, listen to this on repeat, whatever circumstances you listen to the show on, thank you very much for listening to it. Please do tell your friends if you enjoy the show. Of course, if you do enjoy the show, I think it would be fair to ask you to hit the upvote button. I hope that's fair. I hope that's not unfair. It's a small gesture, but apparently it means a lot with the YouTube algorithm. I don't know. These days, it's so hard to grow these channels that I don't honestly know if it even does help, but I just operate in the assumption that hopefully maybe it does. It's a little bit of a cargo cult when you kind of think about it, but I hope that the upvote buttons help. Leave a comment. Apparently that is quite helpful as well, ladies and gentlemen. Plus, of course, just pleasant, honestly. It's like nice graffiti, basically. Say hello, say something you enjoyed about the show, make fun of your mama, whatever the case may be. I mean, it's easy to make fun of your mama because she's so fat, after all. I mean, it's not fun to fat shame, but it is fun to fat shame your mama. Anyway, ladies and gentlemen, what was I going to say? Or should have come up with a better yo mama joke. But hey, we're going to move on, ladies and germs. Is that it? Again, testers, ladies and gentlemen. Seriously, I'm not joking. Sign up, fumidor@chronictable.com. I might even have some room for new testers, basically beginner testers, rather. I guess is the expression for it, is what I was trying to look for. I kept saying for a while, like, oh, I don't need any beginner testers. Honestly, I think I have enough that probably anybody is welcome. I'm sure I have something I could send you that I'm interested in finding out more about, especially if you guys promise. You don't have to obviously promise your blood or some shit, but it would be nice if you would promise to send me clones if you find something interesting, if that's something that you can do. Obviously, from Canada or something, you can't do that. But if you're in the US, it's legal to send clones around. They don't have THC and stuff, so we're not breaking any laws. if you were to, pinky swear, basically, that you're going to send me something interesting if you find it. That would be even more motivation for me to open the vaults, basically, and send out some stuff that I just honestly know I won't have time to run. It's going to take me, realistically, it looks like probably a good 6 months to get situated in my new real forever place. So in the meantime, I basically have to be a little bit judicious about what I pop. So in the meantime, that's even more opportunity to work with you guys to test a bunch of different stuff. Honestly, literally, I have a bunch of different things I'd like to work on. If you guys are interested in doing some Fumidoro, I don't know why I'm stuttering so much today, but if you guys would like to work on some Fumidoro skunkworks projects with me, I would be very, very interested in hearing about that. Let me know. Let me know what you'd like to do. If you'd like to work on some of my seeds, if you'd like to work on some of my products with yours, whatever combination, just all I can say is nah, all I can say is no. It's not like I'm going to yell at you or something. So just suggest whatever you're interested in doing, and I am all ears at the moment. Obviously, my first preference, I mean, come on, is, I would like you to run my seeds and breed them, basically. But if you'd like to work on something else, just suggest it, frankly. Other than that, folks, that's it. Thanks for hanging. Don't forget to puff something wonderful, ladies and germs. If you're not able to puff something wonderful, hopefully you will be able to soon. Hopefully you're able to do something that you can enjoy. Of course, weed, I think, is something that enhances your life. So hopefully you're able to do something that enhances your life in one way or another, even if you're not able to smoke weed. As I often recommend, obviously it's not an order, but I recommend trying to do something nice for someone that you know. If nothing else, just being nice to someone else that costs you basically nothing, to just be nice to other people. Especially now, a lot of times, especially in the Northern Hemisphere, we talk about the holiday season, right? Depending on whatever religion you ascribe to. But in the meantime, a lot of people do ascribe to the sort of holiday season, whether it's Christmas or right now it's Hanukkah. Happy Hanukkah, folks, or whatever holiday you celebrate. In the meantime, do something nice for someone if you can, and yeah, for no other reason than that it just makes the world a slightly less awful place in one way or another. Hope you guys' gardens are doing well. We always forget to wish each other well that way. I don't believe in growers' love because I think it's a meaningless and open, just vapid concept, honestly. But I do wish you guys' gardens well. I think that your weed growing is a reward in and of itself. So I wish your guys' gardens well. I hope you wish my garden well as well. Well as well. That's really awkwardly said. But anyway, you know what I'm trying to say. Thanks very much for hanging, my friends. Be kind, be decent, be gentle. Don't be fucking dicks, pricks, or lunatics. Join D and probably most of the rest of us on Saturday I don't think I'm going to be here, though. No, I'm going to some kind of something or other. I can't remember. Some kind of a cultural performance, ladies and gentlemen. Anyway, I'll be getting cultured on Saturday. Hopefully you guys will join D for our own form of culturing. Thank you very much. Of course, your mama grows cultures as well. That's kind of a gross joke right there because your mama's gross, honestly. But in the meantime, join most of us, ladies and gentlemen, on Saturday for a takeover. This is where D goes. Thanks, my friends, for hanging. I already said the freaking spiel. So adios. Thanks for hanging. Later, Gators. And